Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel for the day I've been waiting for quite a while now. I've been very keen to see these images of the new Predator 2.0 Jungle Hunter by Hot Toys, and we've got a lot to talk about here. A lot of things that I've noticed that, you know, not very pleased about. So we're going to get into it in this video. Hit the like button on this one, help more people find this video. I'm sure it will be helpful to some out there. So I've been talking to Justin from Justin's Collection this morning once these pictures came out. He messaged me and we were just going back and forth on things that we're noticing here. They say newly developed body. That is a lie, so we'll get to that during the video. And there's some really hilarious stuff to talk about in this video and some of these pictures. It's not all bad. I think overall, if you've never owned a Jungle Hunter Predator by Hot Toys, you'll probably be pretty satisfied with this. But the deluxe version and a standard version, two different versions. Deluxe one here comes with the additional Predator mask, the concept art version, the jungle themed diorama base, and 2 skull accessories. That's what you get with the deluxe one. Okay, well, they say it's a newly developed body. It's not. The arms are definitely from the classic Predator. I've zoomed in and analysed veins and sculpt. It's definitely the classic Predator arms. Probably the classic Predator body as well, but Justin was talking to me and we were going back and forth trying to decide whether the kind of the wings, like underneath the Predator's arms on the side by his ribs, is that a little bit wider than it was on the classic Predator figure from the Predators movie from years ago. So that still remains to be seen. Now, if you look closely, you can see the black quills that are on the Predator's sort of forehead, starting at his brow and going up the side of his forehead there. They've sculpted the quills, but they're not painted. They've painted the quills the same colour as his skin. That's ridiculous. They say there's moving eyeballs, but if you zoom in here, Justin mentioned this to me, if you really zoom in on the eyes, they're not moving eyeballs, they're painted eyeballs. So it's just weird. Very, very odd. And no translucent teeth like there were on the original Jungle Hunter figure. But here's the pictures of the, in quotes, newly developed body. I call bullshit on that, and I analysed the chest armour and the strap on his chest here, and it does look exactly same as the classic armour. All the scarring, all the little pitting, everything is in the exact same place. So it does look like they have reused quite a few parts from the classic Predator, which is unacceptable. This 2.0 should have, the picture should have been released by Hot Toys, and ideally, they should have made a big deal about this and said, we've been working with Stan Winston Studios to make sure we bring you the most accurate Jungle Hunter. None of that. Just reuse old parts, slap some new paint on it. I think they've repainted the classic body, from what I can tell. Here is the jungle-themed diorama base, which I just think looks a bit lacking in foliage. I would have liked to have seen more green going up the tree and kind of behind the Predator when it's standing on him like he's really in a thick jungle. We know they can do that. They've gone all out on other bases, like some of the Spider-Man bases have been really elaborate, and I'm thinking of that one with the snow on the rooftops and stuff. And the 89 staircase gargoyle, that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just friggin' hilarious. I mean, like I said, the chest armour on this figure, see the scarring on his left side of his chest that's covered in armour? All the exact same scarring and pitting as the classic Predator figure from years ago. Exact same sculpt, just reused. Even the strap. It's ridiculous. They've got some friggin' nerve, I tell you. The classic Predator leg armour was different to the Jungle Hunter, so they had to do new leg armour for this figure, so that's new. We know that. But, yeah. Obviously the loincloth is different here than it was on the classic. There was a different kind of belt design on the classic and the Jungle Hunter. But that spine should be bendable. I don't think it is. The tassels that are wrapped around his arms, they're very short and shit looking there. They should be longer. So I'll have to get my own little leather stringy tassels and put them around his elbows and his knees. I mean, what's going on here? Look at his brow. Look at all the quills painted the same colour as his skin. He's even got black dots on his quills on the left side there above his eyes. See the quill with 2 black dots on it? It's just a mess. Hot Toys, man. Ugh. What on earth is going on? They really used to be passionate and striving for excellence back when I first started collecting their stuff. And for a long time, they were unquestionably the best at what they did. And that is not the case anymore. Absolutely not. Just reusing old parts. I'd say about, okay, we got a new head sculpt, we got some new leg armor, we have some new skulls, spine, base. What else seems to be new? I mean, I reckon we're looking at about maybe 60% reused parts, 40% new, possibly, in that sort of area. This is one of the images I like. That's a good image. It's a good looking figure right there. I mean, the mask looks nice. I like the weathering on it. Would have been nice to get maybe two bio masks. One really kind of nasty like this one, and one a little bit more clean from the earlier scenes in the film. Yeah, the trophies around his neck, I'd have to go back and check that, but they do look a bit bulbous and a bit big here. I can always use my old ones, from the original. I definitely think they're a little bit smaller. But yeah, so he's holding onto the skull there with just a gesturing hand. That they're just kind of, that's probably, like Justin said, probably blue tacked onto his hand. Oh, and he also pointed out, look at the hand that's holding onto the skull and spine here. Check this out. It's just the pointing. He's pointing. What's he pointing at? You dickhead. Oh my god. Okay, so here's the additional Predator Mars concept art version. Yeah, this is nice that they put a lot of effort into this. They really did, you can tell. But they did make this Predator, I think it's called the Gort Predator, or very similar. From Predator 2, was it? Had a very similar looking mask. So maybe they had that sculpt lying around and they just kind of jazzed it up a little bit. Thought they'd throw it in just to kind of fool you into thinking they were making some effort here. Oh man, the mandibles look so shit compared to the original. The first version they released, they were translucent. They look like real teeth. These look like fucking sausages. Not sausages again, and predators, come on. If you're familiar with my whole rant about the feral predator sausage mandibles, pepperamis. Yeah, so let's get a nice close-up look here. Yeah, overall, I mean, this pose here reminds me very much of one of the Sideshow collectibles premium formats from years ago. Very cool, accurate piece. Sideshow would often get in touch with the folks from Stan Winston Studios who made this suit in the first place. Like they would when they were doing like Terminator endoskull busts and life-size T-800s and stuff. They'd often communicate with the very people who made this stuff. But clearly that has not been the case here. Not that I expect Hot Toys all the way over there in Hong Kong to be getting in touch with Stan Winston Studios in Los Angeles, but I mean, Jesus, I mean, even me, I don't design figures, but even I could tell you, 10 things that shouldn't be here that are here right now, and, they're just dead giveaways that we're getting reused parts and a very lazy attempt at a 2.0, because their 2.0s have been really good. I mean, look at Bane. That was a true 2.0. I mean, that's a really good, I'll give Hot Toys credit when they deserve it, man. That's a sick figure. Even InArt said we don't need to do Bane because Hot Toys did such a good job with their 2.0. Fair enough, But this is lazy with some neat little extras thrown in to kind of disguise the mediocrity of what we're looking at. And I know newer collectors won't recognize a lot of this stuff, but fact is, I've been collecting these figures now for almost 18 years, and I've seen all the Jungle Hunters really when it comes to action figures. NECA, Mezco, Hot Toys, whoever else. Oh, well, you got the quarter scale NECA stuff as well. NECA did such an amazing job on their quarter scale Jungle Hunter figures. I mean, if you really want to see a company pour their love and heart and soul into a figure, NECA really did. And like with their quarter scale Batman Begins as well, it's one of the best options out there. But yeah, I just recognise all these hands from the classic, a lot of the armour from the classic. Oh, and we're probably going to get plastic shitty wrist blades, not metal like they used to be. Just getting cheaper and more lazy. Panning up. So when we saw this on display at some of the events a while ago, there seemed to be more green on his armor, like that kind of watery, slimy green kind of residue. Don't see so much of that here. And I kind of like that. They overdid it a little bit on the one that I saw at the events, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit of that greeny, mouldy kind of, watery yuckiness carry over onto the armor on this figure here. But I can't see any of that. But I do, aside from the shitty job they've done, not painting the quills, I do quite like the likeness in the head. Teeth could be translucent, they're not. They're really crudely painted. But the shape of the mouth looks good. The shape of the head looks good. It will be nice when this finally does release and it does have moving eyes to see this predator looking in different directions. Just a very odd thing to mention that in all these posts that they're releasing now on this upcoming figure, saying it has moving eyes, and you can't see that feature in use in any of these images because it's not there. And a very barren looking jungle base with just a couple of crappy little leaves thrown in just to, oh yeah, jungle. Not much room for him to stand on there either. Could just definitely do with more green on the base, more leaf foliage, and maybe a nice inclusion of a cardboard background you could put behind that base with a lot more lush green foliage and thick jungle behind him, just to really set it off. I mean, it's not that hard to go on eBay and look for stuff like that and find it yourself. I remember years ago at one of the events, Hot Toys had a section dedicated to all their best releases that year and some hints and teasers like Batman Returns. They had the picture of that famous poster of Catwoman, Penguin and Batman, making it seem like they were going to be doing Penguin and Catwoman. They did do Batman, they've done that twice. That second 2.0 hasn't been released yet. But they did hint that they were going to be doing a quarter scale Jungle Hunter figure. That was really exciting, but that never happened. And they don't seem to do many quarter scale figures these days. I could be wrong, but that seems to be kind of dying out a little bit with Hot Toys. But this figure, could certainly be better. But it doesn't look bad, does it? I mean, I'm just pointing out things. That stripe across his bicep's still there, but it is different from the one on the classic figure. So it's still inaccurate. Why they've put it there, it should be higher up. There's it's hard to go into, man. You just go on Google, find some good pictures of Kevin Peter Hall in the original suit on the set. There's one particular photo that's really clear, really HD, so almost a full body shot. And he's kind of standing between two trailers, I think, if you probably know the one I'm talking about. There's also another image just like that where he's wearing the mask that you get as an alternate in this one, the concept version. But yeah, Kevin Peter Hall was a very, very tall, slender dude, and at times when I look at these images, sometimes I think it looks a bit too bulky. I mean, there's moments in the movie where you get a good sense of the physicality of the creature. When he's kind of just looking for Dutch, he's kind of just leaping across logs and just, I just know this could be better. I think we all do deep down, like the hardcore Predator fans, people who are in their 40s and 50s, who grew up with this film. They just kind of, if it was dead on right, you'd know it straight away, and you'd be freaking out, so excited. And I'm just not getting that from these images, even though like an image like that does look really cool. It's just not as good as it could be, and that's a fact, folks. So I'm gonna get it. They're still gonna get some money from me, but I'm gonna have to do mods to it and have some fun. I kind of enjoy that these days, a little project. Keeps me off the streets, out of trouble. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Share your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button on this video so it reaches more people. Appreciate that. Alright, see you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.